Hey everybody, it's Cindy. Um, and I am up in a tree right now. And this is kind of funny because yesterday when I came out here, I was kind of near this place and I saw this tree and it made me think of the story of Zacchaeus. And right now my computer is perched on a branch and wait, if you see this, can you see if I move? Yeah, I'm up in a tree, like about 5 feet off the ground. Um, but it just made me think about how cool the story of Zacchaeus is. It's in Luke 19, and basically a little background information is that Zacchaeus, he is a Jew, but he was hired because Jerusalem, and he actually lives in Jericho, right near on the other side of the Jordan. But what happened because this area was occupied by Rome at the time, and so the Roman people would hire the people of Jerusalem and Jericho in that region, the local people, to serve as tax collectors. So we're told that Zacchaeus was like a head tax collector. So he was like in charge of many tax collectors. And we are also told that he is very rich. So he's high up on the totem pole, probably doesn't have a lot of friends, maybe because those people were despised in the day because they were seen as people who would often take advantage and overtax the poor and take some for Rome and then put some in their pocket, and that was illegal, and so they were quite hated amongst the local people, and so he probably didn't have many friends. So in comes Jesus on his way into Jerusalem, and he passes through Jericho. And Zacchaeus, we're told, you remember the song, he's a wee little old man, and he is seeing that this Jesus is coming into town, and he's heard of him, but he doesn't, he wants to see him, he wants to hear the message, but he's kind of like small, and so the crowd is swarming Jesus, and he can't really get a good look. So what do we know that he does? He climbs a tree. And which basically means like you're pretty desperate, sort of like what I'm doing trying to film this, because if this branch breaks, which it could, then this would be on tape. But anyway, so we see that he climbs the tree and he kind of runs up ahead of where the crowd is around Jesus. So he's like, okay, Jesus is going to come this way, so I'm going to climb up a tree over along the path this way. And so he climbs up the tree to get a look at him. And then we're told that Jesus actually walks by him and calls him by name. And it just made me think about, and he says, Zacchaeus, come down. I must come to your house tonight and basically have dinner with him and meet with him. And then at this moment, Jesus comes into his home and we see this phenomenal thing happen. Zacchaeus sort of like confesses his sins. He says, I have done really wrong things and I've taken too much money, and but I promise I'm so, he basically doesn't just say he's sorry. He says, this is what I want to do. I want to give it all back, and I want to give the amount that I misused, I want to give back 4 times that amount. And Jesus then goes on to say in verse 9, he says, today salvation has come to this house, Jesus told him, because he too is the son of Abraham, basically one of God's chosen people. And it says, for the Son of Man, he's talking about himself Jesus being fully human when he says Son of Man, capital M. He said he has come to seek and to save the lost. And I just think that is so beautiful because, we tend to get judgy who we think that Jesus should come be nice to, and who we think Jesus should befriend, because we think that person is so awful. Like, surely God is not merciful towards that person. But we actually see here that Jesus loves him, calls him by name, wants to go visit him in his house, and actually offers him salvation and love and just compassion, and it changes this hard-hearted person's heart, which is phenomenal. And so I got to thinking about Zacchaeus and what was it that I love so much about this story. And one of the things, and my leg is really hurting now because I'm balancing on this thing, but anyway, I'm going to shift. One of the things that I want to show you is that this little necklace here, it's in Hebrew. And a couple years ago, Clark and I went to Jerusalem, and we went out to dinner, and there was like one of those little touristy places. And at first I wasn't even sure that this said my name, but basically, if you read it backwards like they do in Hebrew, it spells Cynthia. And I did check it after that. It's pretty close, but it's sterling silver. And I remember I ran into the restaurant. Everybody was outside eating outside the tables. I remember running back and saying, I got it, I got it, I got it. And some of them, some of the people in our group were like, why did you want to get that? And I said, because if I was alive when Jesus was alive in Jerusalem and he saw me, this is how he would call me. This is like how he would speak in Hebrew. We also know that they spoke Aramaic as well, but this is how he would say my name. And I'll never forget that, because we all want to feel special, especially, right now we all want to feel seen and loved and known by God. We want to know that he hasn't forgotten us. We want to know that we are special to him. And he does know you, and he does love you. And just remember that when you feel like alone in your apartment, or alone, maybe in your bedroom because you've shut yourself off from your family, that God sees you and he speaks to you, and he calls you by name, which I think is amazing. So have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless.